It is almost 10:30. I'm not sure if Stephanie is ready. If she is, we will hear from Stephanie. Oh, look at this beauty. So, Stephanie is also another fellow Canadian, but she is on the other side of Canada. Just so you all know, it's a 5 hour plane ride to where Stephanie lives from me. So, I'm in Toronto. She is in Vancouver. Canada is huge. And that's not even all of Canada. So, with that, I will stay quiet now and I will let you listen to the most amazing and beautiful Stephanie Brandolini. I love saying her name, it's one of my favorites. Stephanie, take it away. And thank you for being here. Oops. Okay, you have to start talking so that you start showing up here.
Yeah. Hey, thank you very much, Marianne. Hi, everyone. Happy International Women's Day. Yeah, so as Marianne was saying, I'm over here in Vancouver, Canada, on the West Coast. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here and share a bit about myself and a bit about, really what it means to be empowered and how I love to share how, I've empowered myself and helped others and really just kind of radiate that message along the way because you know, I struggled a lot in my life and still sometimes do with, confidence and with not feeling good enough. I think that wound of not feeling good enough is that's like the real pandemic, this like unworthiness thing. And, after a while of like just thinking that that was the way I was, I started to dig deeper into like, why do I feel that way? Like, what is actually beneath the surface of these things? So before I get into it, I'll just kind of introduce myself a bit more so we're not total strangers. Yeah, so my name's Stephanie Brandolini, Vancouver, Canada. I am first and foremost a writer. I am an award-winning screenwriter. I'm a two-time international best-selling author. I am a filmmaker, and my big dream that I am working towards with my businesses and with all the income streams I got going on is I am working on building a creative empire, a place where creatives and musicians and visionaries can come together and bring stories and art and music to life that, would not have been created otherwise. Stories, especially with meaning, with, that are consciously led and that are, around spirituality and faith and like really exploring like what it means to be human and, what we're really here for, our purposes, the divinity that's all around and within us and, really unearthing that what I call our God-given or divine dreams within us and our superpowers. Because we all have superpowers, you guys, and what I've discovered is that they are hidden in the places that we really don't want to look at. The gold is in the layer of the dragon, if you like. And I want to talk to you guys briefly today about a system that I have developed, as I've been on my journey and doing speaking engagements and such. It honestly, this program, this system sort of downloaded into me as I was preparing for a speaking event one time. And I'm like, okay, this is what I am meant to share right now. And I discovered this because I, discovered that within what, that thing that you are running from, that thing that you think might be your greatest weakness, that thing that you might be ashamed to admit even to yourself, within that thing lies your hidden superpower, your greatest strength, your gold. And I've called this talk that I do and this program Weakness to Warrior. But because this is International Women's Day, I'm going to say Weakness to Warrioress, Remix Fear and Rise. Because I mean, this is said in so many ways, guys, but it is fear. It is just different variations of fear that keep us from, our divine destiny, our dreams, our higher purpose. And before I get into it, I like to go through a bit of a breathing exercise because breathing is going to help soften us into this. I use with people and myself this thing that I developed called a 7-part breathing exercise. So, breathe in for 7 and hold for 7 and breathe out for 7. Like breathe all the way out. I would usually do that a bit longer with people, but for the sake of time, we're just going to do it once. So this system that like seriously, like I co-created, I believe, with what I call God, divine energy source. I believe that all came together working in co-creation with this source. And what I developed was a way to remix fear and rise from it. So, because I'm a writer, I love to use, letters and words to share meaning. And fear, is F-E-A-R, right? So the system I've developed is called the A.F.E.R system. So A-F-E-R. So A stands for accept. So we got to accept where we are so we can shift it. And then F is for face, because you got to face the thing that's coming up, the fear that's coming up, and see what's beneath it. And E is for embrace. You get to embrace what's beneath this fear, this part of you that is coming up to be healed. And then R is for rise, because you now get to rise with this part of yourself that you have faced, accepted, and healed, and go towards that higher calling that you are designed for. So I'm just going to briefly go through each of these steps because, there's this thing about fear, like, it's everything you want on the other side of it, right? Overcome your fear, face your fear. But no one really talks about the little steps in between, because it's not just a one and done thing. And it's not just like, okay, we're done with fear. So in the A step, the accepting step, this one is really important to be like the foundation. And it's where I have really brought in stillness, which is not easy that nowadays. Like we're in a society, in a world that is very fast paced, very like production driven and hustle driven, which doesn't have to be a bad thing, but too much of a good thing, leads to burnout, right? And especially as women, I honestly, I used to be kind of too much in my masculine energy, trying to do everything myself, trying to prove myself and all this kind of stuff. But really settling into the receiving nature of the feminine, the divine feminine nature is really going to help you, you know, resource yourself for one thing, and, really be in flow with what you're doing. So you're not burning out, you're not doing too much, you're not overworking, you're in a flow of enough because you are enough. So in the acceptance phase, I've really I use scripture a lot to help me with a lot of what I do. And not in a religious sense, you guys, it's more of a spiritual relationship with God. But one scripture that's really helped me is, be still and know that I am God. And that can apply to yourself too, because you have that godhood within you. So, just be still and know that everything that's happening is for you. So you get to accept it. Like whatever this thing is that's coming up for you, maybe it's being unworthy, maybe it's you don't think you're doing good enough, you failed at something, whatever it is, let that come up, like let it be. And, you'll often see that it's not even as bad as you thought it was because, fear can make you think that there is so much more than what it is. And then when you really accept that it's there, it starts to dissipate. So accepting in this still space is the first step. And then we get into the facing step. Now, this is a step where you got to stay still, and, really just know that it's all for you still, because this is the part where a lot of you is going to want to run away. But facing whatever it is that's coming up is the next step that's going to take you to the next one. So in the facing step, I'm a very visual person, so I always do this for myself and the people I'm working with is like, even close your eyes and imagine this, what's coming up, the stuff that you're becoming, like that you've accepted, is like forming into a form, usually a form of yourself. And it's going to be like a past version of yourself. Maybe it's you from yesterday, maybe it's you 5 years old, whatever it is that comes up, like let that version of you come up and like just be sitting across from this version of you. And this version of you might not be very happy to see you because, this is a part of you that you have likely suppressed, like kept locked in the basement kind of thing. So let her come up, let whatever it is happen. She might be kind of angsty, might be kind of not happy to see you, but let her come up and really look her in the eyes and accept her. Keep that acceptance going from the first step as you face her. And then it's like, what's behind her? Oops, my hand is raised now because I put my hands up. Um, what is actually behind her, like those layers behind her, right? So look beneath, and keep looking because, these are often deep wounds that come up. And the deeper you go, the higher you're going to rise. So keep going, whatever it is. Because, the behaviors, the fears, whatever it is that, isn't serving you right now, it's not the surface thing. It's what's behind it. So yeah, just keep feeling into those layers, and you'll often see that whatever this version of you is projecting into your life or is making happen that's not working, it's stemming from some kind of trauma, some kind of event, some kind of broken belief usually that has exacerbated in your mind. I think of it like, we had something happen, and then this thing has caused us to act in a certain way repeatedly for decades even maybe. So it's like this wound, this festering thing that you don't even realize is there until you start going through these steps. So whatever that is for you, for me, it was all in the unworthiness. One of the biggest things I've overcome is a really bad eating disorder. And, when I looked at that beneath the surface, it was all about control, all about trying to be perfect and prove my worth and all that. So I had to heal a lot of parts of myself, not just one, that was stuck in that. So again, keep the acceptance going, keep the love going. Love is paramount through all of this, and let those layers come up, because it's in these layers that there is actually gold for you to receive and rise. So we're not there yet though. We're going into the embracing step. So this part of you, this wounded part, this little child, whatever it is, you get to embrace this part of you. And this is actually the most beautiful part for me. Because yeah, like I used to really live a lot in fear, and the fear was really rooted in sort of, not sort of, but a big not accepting of myself. There was a part of me that really thought that I hated myself for a long time. And that's not really true, but because of the patterns and the behaviors going on for so long, that's what it felt like. So loving this part of yourself is like the ultimate key. So like literally embracing, like you can even like hug yourself physically as this is happening, and let this part of you be embraced. And again, she might not be happy. She might be squirming around, might be like, I don't trust you, but just keep embracing her. And this is a visualization that I always use for myself and the people that I'm helping through this is, as you're embracing her, like just keep holding on to her and keep giving her love and acceptance and facing these things with her. And imagine that she's wearing like a shroud or like a cloak of shadows, like a really dark cloak that's all covering her up. And as you're hugging her, loving her, embracing her, this shroud starts to fall away, maybe be ripped off, maybe be disintegrated. And as it does, this light, this blinding light that's within her starts to radiate out and fully lets go of the shroud of shadows. And she starts to emerge this light, which is the gift that you need to move forward into your next level. And it's often the opposite of what was going on. Because, like, for me, thought I hated myself. Actually, turns out I really love myself. I thought I was awkward around people, thought I couldn't really work with people, but turns out I really love people, love connecting, you know. And even I used to think that I didn't want to speak in front of people. I used to hate the sound of my voice, yet here I am now an empowerment speaker. You know what I mean? So it's like this dichotomous dance that we're doing with these parts of ourselves, and it's often the opposite. Often underneath all the like not wanting to, or like I can't do this, you actually can, and you can do it greater than you could ever have imagined. So now with this part of yourself that is, you've healed her by embracing her and you've accepted her. Now you're like a team, and the shadows have been let go of. The light of her is being embraced into you. And actually imagine this. Imagine like the light that you have unveiled, like integrating into you, and you become one. And now you get to rise. Now you get to rise with the power that she has given you. And the rising step, you guys, it's not just like you take off like a rocket and you're like, okay, bye, this is all good. You're often going to fall a little bit in the rise. And that's okay. That's part of it. Just know that you're never failing and keep looking up. I use faith a lot to really propel me forward. And, in this rising step, just know that like the faith, your belief in yourself, your belief in your higher power, this new self that's come into you, keep going with that faith and keep looking up. Because if you look down, you're going to falter, you're going to probably fall. And if you fall, it's okay. You can get back up, you can go through the steps again. But another thing about this rising step is, it might sound counter, but it's actually super powerful, is surrendering into the rise, because I believe we're rising into like our higher calling, that, God, source, universe, divine power has given us, and it's surrendering to it that's going to give us the strength. Because, we have our own strength for sure, but when you surrender, it's like you let go and open up for like the superpower that's within you to really fuel you. So that's the rise part. That's kind of a brief overview of all these steps, and how to find your warrioress strength within what you once thought was your greatest weakness. And I love to talk about this. I love to write about this. I love writing fiction, fantasy fiction and stuff, but I also write self-development books, and I run a couple businesses in the health and wellness space, because you guys, if we don't have our health, we can't really do any of this other stuff. So, if this resonated with you, I would love to chat with you, love to hear about it. And again, just so grateful to be speaking here amongst all these amazing women. And thank you again, Miss Marianne, for having me on. And yes, I am also in the Business Goddesses book that's going to be coming out soon. I'm super excited for that. So stay tuned for all that to come out. There's going to be a lot of promotion around that. And I'm really excited for you to read, of course, my chapter, but there's a bunch of chapters in there from all of us women for you to serve you on your path to your higher calling and to aid you in this empowerment reset that is going on right now. So I am also a big Star Wars fan, and I like to mix that with my faith. So I always like to sign off with, may the force of faith be with you all. Thank you
Isn't
very
that
much.
wonderful? That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Stephanie. You're
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Stephanie and I also met in the Connected Leaders Academy. Jose would otherwise be on all of my summits, but he's not a female. And so for this one, we had to exclude him. And so, yeah, I was just showing the book again because we just didn't get around to getting it published in time. And that's okay. I mean, as long as we are in there. But isn't the cover gorgeous? Like, it's just stunning. I just love it. I don't know. Anyways, I'm so
Yeah, I
excited.
love that cover. I can't wait to see it in person.
Me too. I can't wait to get the book, and yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. Anyways, and that's thanks to all of us, and then of course Amanda, who did the final touches on it. So thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining. Stephanie and I connected, like I said, in the Connected Leaders Academy, and that was that's a really great place. And then she came to one of the presentations that we did with Bank Code, the Code Breaker, with Sherry Tree, and she joined Bank. And so now we're business partners for sure. And then, of course, we're business partners in the gold and silver coins, because, we like coins, we like gold, we're girls. Hello.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And yes, we both care about your health, and we love you all. Stephanie, thank you so much for taking the time. It is incredibly early where Stephanie is.
Yes, I'm not a morning person, but I get up early for things that mean something to me. So thank you again for having me, and thanks everyone for listening. Have a beautiful Women's Day.
And thank you so much. And I believe are you speaking at some other summits as well? Like, today's a big speaking day for a lot of us women speakers.
Yeah, I have another event coming up, and then I'm actually going to take some time in nature. I'm going to go for a
Oh,
walk, going to do some
that's
things.
wonderful. I don't get that until about 4 o'clock, but it'll be good. That's beautiful. Yeah, we both actually, you live close to Stanley Park, and I have a very large park that's close to me, so that once we're done, I take my dog, because he's been waiting for me patiently. I took him out in the morning, which is fantastic. So thank you again, Stephanie, so much, and thank you for getting up so early. This is a shortened summit from what I typically do, only because I still have some speaking engagements, and I have some other summits that I need to be on. So thank you so much.